Buenos dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Here's another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. She's a what? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. She's a white girl with a black habit. Bye-ya, bye-ya, bye-ya. Stop Bucci, white girl. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. You already know what it is, man. Hey, shout out to the woods, brother. Why are you talking about the feather woods like that, gun? Hey, light as a feather, stiff as a board. Literally. You feel me? You understand what I'm saying? You can see that thumbnail right there, man. You already know what time it is, man. We're going to talk about something that was brought to my attention, something I had to do my legwork on and trip out on because it blew my mind when I heard it. Now, before we get into it, let's take it back a little bit. You know, people always get mad. Gun, you talk for 10 fucking minutes before you get to the point. Well, trip out, homes. You could jam or you can stick around and listen to what the gun has to say, because I'm definitely going to give you some knowledge you can't get in college. I'm going to drop a jewel in the now and give you some of that beef and some of that heat that you can't compete with. So now, I've done a lot of time with the Fresno Bulldogs. Ups and downs and ups, homes, sideways y todo mine. And I can tell you one thing about the Perro Chatos, the Bulldogs. I've always had a level of respect for them that surpasses many. Anyone who's ever really done time with the Bulldogs knows what time it is. You know, and I had the privilege of doing time with a lot of real righteous Perro Chatos, Bulldogs that have really put in work or solidified the town of Fresno, put it on the map. You know, the F-14ers, they were a whole different breed. These Bulldogs you have now, righteously, Perro Chatos, man, I give them their respects because they hold it down in their town. They hold it down in their county. They hold it down, period. But the Bulldogs of my era, the F-14 Bulldogs, the actual Norteño Bulldogs, they were a whole different breed, homie. They were a whole different perro, a whole different canine, a whole different animal. Them vatos were like hyenas. They came in packs, and they were pretty deep in the system. Now, traditionally, F-14ers, man, was a part, you know, of the Norteño movement. They were always their own branch, though, of the Norteño movement. They always distinguished themselves and put a label to themselves, so that way you knew that Fresno was rocking not solo, but rocking right here. And the F-14 movement, man, within the Norteño cause was the top of the top, man. You had San Jose and Salinas, of course, solidified their whole get down. You know, they've always been that. But then you always had the F-14ers out of the Valle, you know, out of the 209. Yes, it was 209 at one point in time. For those of you that don't know, 559ers, now you know. And they had it sold, man. There was always a lot of Fresno Bulldogs. And when I first did time, man, my first celly that I ever had was Little Inez, rest in peace, days South Fresno, right? I met a lot of F-14 Bulldogs, and I had respect the way they got down. These two dudes named Joey Boy and K9 pretty much set the mark and set the bar high in Nellis when I was there in the Youth Authority. These guys were rioters, homes. These guys were the type of dudes that every time they came out of the oil, they got off. People knew not to fuck with them, and if people did wanted to see them, man, they usually put hands on them. They just were soldados. They just put in work for the Norte as well as the Bulldog cause. So there was always that love there. There was always that, what if the Bulldogs never split apart from the Norteños? What if the Bulldogs always stood strong in the Norteño cause? Would it have changed anything? Would we have had more numbers? Would we have had more righteous soldiers? I remember us thinking that back in the days, and there was always them whispers. You know, people always, you know, younger guys would always be like, fuck them Vatos, forget them Vatos. Them Vatos ain't part of us, because they weren't there to experience, you know, the canalismo. They weren't there to experience us working hand in hand and branching union to handle our business. They weren't there to see everything that ensued, you know, when the split happened. I participated in it. I got to see it firsthand. I got to feel it firsthand. So I knew exactly what it was to sit down and break bread with Perro Chatos Bulldogs and take flicas and show love and respect. And they were Norteños, homes. They were homeboys, you know. And then when they left, man, it was a big chunk taken out of the heart of the Norte. That's a fact. So there's always been whispers, those from my era, from the old school before me, that have always talked about the what ifs. What could have happened if the Bulldogs came back into the fold? Or would they ever come back into the fold? Now, it's a dying breed, the F-14er movement. You don't see too many Vatos running around Fresno unless they're old school and on beach cruise or something with F-14 blasted on their head or their shoulders or their stomachs, you know, or Huelga birds or things of that nature. Any semblance of the Norte, any resemblance of the Norte is starting to die out, and it's dying out fast, because the Bulldog movement has taken over in the city of Fresno. Now there are West South Fresno Norteños that righteously have been doing their thing, homes, and they're out there. But for the most part, the Bulldogs had that whole county sewed up, right? So any type of indication that there was a Norteño presence as far as within the Bulldog movement is starting to fade away, because more generations and more generations are coming that never knew being a Norteño or what it encompassed or what it was, man, to go out there and really struggle and strive on them yards. But those that do remember, do remember. So you have the federal prison system, right? And in the federal prison system, there is certain yardas where Norteños have established and they are doing their thing. And there are perro chatas that do function on them yards hand in hand with them, to which they have been given the label the Fresno Primos. The Primos meaning the cousin of, it's like that step cousin you don't want, but he just always comes around. They've been given that label. Guard! You know what I'm talking about, right? And that's just how it is in the feds. Now, the Bulldogs are a free mind and free spirit, meaning they can do whatever they want, homes. They don't have to function within the Norte cause. They don't have to function within the Sureño cause, but they're able to do their own things and establish the way they want to, within the federal system prison or the federal prison system. Now, in the state system, it's different. In the state system, there's been friction, homes. For many, many years, many moons, Kimosabi, there's been a lot of friction, a lot of hatred, a lot of dissension, a lot of division, and a lot of segregation. The administration took it upon themselves to segregate the perro chatos. And I know a lot of vatos like to hate on the Bulldogs and sit here and say, man, they're segregated for their own safety, or they're segregated because they can't come out to the yard because they're scared, or they're segregated because this or that. And actually, in all actuality, they're segregated because they were putting in that work, homes. They're segregated because they were getting off. Now, I'm not going to say they were doing knife play and they were catching bodies and all that, because I'd be lying to you before I'm dying with you. But I will say that every time they brought these young rowdy ass Bulldogs out of the oils or whatever and tried to reintegrate them into the yards with North and South, they were taking flight immediately. See, when you got an everyone's your opposition. When everybody poses a threat and you're laced up right, you got to understand that taking flight first is not a PC move. Taking flight first is what you have to do. See, all these big bad gangsters and all these real motherfuckers will tell you, man, get off where you're mad at. Get off first. There's been many situations, man, where I had to hit a yard and I had to get off first. Because if I did it, they were going to get off in my ass. And I wasn't trying to have that happen. Oh, no, hell no. Right? It wasn't going to happen. Yeah, I'll hold. Well, the Bulldogs are of the same mindset. Because they are so outnumbered within the CDC, the CDCR, they threw the R on it. You know what I mean? I don't like no R on my jacket. It was just CDC back in my days. But within the CDCR, you have to fucking do what you have to do. You have to get off, man. So there's been so much guerra. There's been so much wars between Norteños and Bulldogs or Bulldogs and Sureños. It's been all point bulletin on any type of perro chata you can get to, as far as them two groups go, those two entities. And I'm sure on the Bulldog side, and I can't speak for them, but it's been pretty much the same thing. I know in 2019, they called it the new gladiator wars. They were sending groups of Bulldogs and Southsiders out to yards to function together, and they wasn't lasting longer than 5 minutes. They were getting off where they were mad at. They were getting off on sight. Now, one thing about the Bulldogs that I've learned, man, is they'll press, man. If you go to Fresno and you have any indication that you're not rocking perro, and they always got Fresno State gear, they have identifying marks. They let everyone know. They'll pull up on you, homes. That's not the type of town or city you want to go to if you oppose. I've heard that song, fuck those who oppose some Norteños, dropping like dominoes. Remember that? And it was a Bulldog song, wow, wow, wow. But if you go over there opposing, it's the same thing. When you go in someone else's backyard, what do you think's going to happen, homes? They're going to tear your fucking head off, right? They're going to get you. And that's how the Bulldogs have been rocking for several fucking years. So anyways, someone gets at me in my DMs the other day. And they're like, hey, Gun, guess what? What, right? The Bulldogs and the Norteños are selling up and functioning together on the same yard in Corcoran prison. Now, I've been to Corcoran. Corcoran is a notorious prison. It's known for the gladiator shoe wars. It's known for Charles Manson having been there. It's known for a lot of heavy hitters having went through them 4 yards. It's known for Corcoran. Okay, it's solidified in the CDC system. It's one of those prisons that you don't want on your list. It's one of those prisons that you'd rather not go to. It's hot as fuck, and everybody there has bad intentions. Okay, they're living that personification of Corcoran prison. Corcoran State Prison, old school. There's Sad F across the street, down the street. But I'm talking about old school Corcoran prison. Now, this guy got at me in my DMs talking about the Nortenos and the Bulldogs are sold up. So I was like, oh, hell no. Let me look into this. Now, I can't call bullshit because, like I said, in the federal prison system, the Bulldogs and Nortenos are functioning together. Some, not all, right? So I looked into it. I got one of my homeboys who has a homeboy that's actually doing time in Corcoran activated. And he got on his little tab Lizzie, right? And got back to him and told him, Charlie, Holmes, there's no Bulldogs here. There was Bulldogs here, but they were placed in the oil. Now, I could be wrong, and maybe this person is confused and saying they're functioning together. But if I believe that they are functioning together, maybe they are. But if they are, it's probably an S&Y yard in SAT-F, or it's probably, a non-designated yard where they're barely bringing them together, but it's like level 1 and level 2 type shit. It's definitely not going to happen in Corcoran. I believe that Corcoran, Salinas Valley, High Desert, Pelican Bay would probably be the last places that they would want to try to integrate people. I know that they have in the past, and the Vatos have got off. You got to understand, with this end of hostilities, there's a lot of communication. There's a lot of coming together. There's a lot of people talking about what if this happens, what if that happens. I'm sure the communication is very special, right? I'm sure people know that if the Perro Chatos come trying to oppose and they come posing a threat, that everybody is going to get off on them because everybody has a stake in that yard and there's a lot to lose. See, that's what people don't get that have never been in prison. Doesn't matter if it's Norteño or Sureño or black or white. Yes, there will be friction. Yes, there will be guerra between the opposing groups because everybody is all about their own. But there's also a lot of communication and a lot that happens on them yards, man, that nobody wants to get fucked off. So if they feel that this group is coming in, they will send a wave at them, Holmes, to make sure that they are gone, bro. And that wave will make the fucking necessary sacrifice to defend the casa. That's just how it is. That's how it's always been. Those that know. When people say, oh, the Bulldogs, they'll tear everyone up, or the Sureños or the Norteños will tear everyone up. That's not the way it is, bro. It's fucking business, nothing personal. With the Bulldogs, it does become a little bit personal, man, because the guerra has been going on for so many years. There's been so much tension. So to say that Bulldogs and guys from Corcoran, Norteños, are actually functioning on the yard and kicking it and selling up, I think that's far-fetched, Holmes. I think I could see that in the future, just like you could see that in the future. It's quite possible. It could happen. Vatos could come to an understanding that the numbers game comes into play when it's prison. In prison, Sureños got the number. Crips got the numbers. The Woods, in some spots, they got a few numbers, right? Norteños have never really had the numbers unless it's a northern prison like Salinas Valley, Soledad, of course, Tracy, San Quentin. Yes, then they've had the numbers. But for the most part throughout the system, everybody knows it's Southern controlled, man. The Southerners, the Southern side, not the other side, have always had their hand in the cookie jar. They've always been the deepest. And with numbers applies pressure. With pressure applies combustion. With combustion applies, they just don't want to go to the yard no more, eh? Right? That's just how it is. So I could see the Norteños getting at the Bulldogs and telling them, hey, you Vatos are tired of being segregated, I'm sure. You Vatos are tired of Vatos getting off on you or having to get off. Times change. People change. A lot of the old views from the past and a lot of the old guerra and things that have happened, these young guys don't know about. They've only heard about. It has no bearing on them. They ain't tripping. Vatos are trying to get out of that oil, get visitas. They're trying to get packages. They're trying to kick it with their old ladies. They're trying to get their little on, get on my money if you can in the cuts, tell the black guy, the one that takes pictures, black. They're trying to do a whole lot of different shit, right? That's just how it is. That's part of the game. So if Vatos can work hand in hand and branching unit, if they could come together and form an understanding, then maybe they would be welcomed on that yard. Now, I don't know about the politics of the yardas right now. It's all in disarray, according to what I've heard, right? There's a little bit of everything. There's a little bit of everything and a lot of bit of everything. It depends upon what yard you hit, man. What level you're at. Them 4 yards 180s and 3 yards 270s. They're not fucking around, bro. They don't got time to play games. Most of these guys are lifers or got 20 to 30 years plus, and they're not there to make themselves uncomfortable. That's their pad, eh? That's their chante. They're going to let you know who's allowed to walk that yard and who's not. It's a who's who of who the fuck are these guys trying to come to our yard. That's just it. But there are S&Y yards and reintegration yards and all these different yards that the CDC has determined to place people on that has put people in jeopardy and danger. And I believe we all heard, man, the Bulldogs were being placed in this reintegrated yards first and foremost. They were the first group because they are the group that has more problems than anyone within the CDC system because it's hard to house them. There's not a lot of places to send them. And it's not because they're punks and they won't go nowhere. It's because that's the way the CDC wants it. Okay, but there's a bigger agenda. Open your ears. I'm about to give you some game. The agenda is the CDC doesn't like all these big players and all these real vatos out there on them yards. They're trying to lock their ass up in the dungeon, back to the oil with the indeterminate you go. And anyone who doesn't see that and is too stupid to understand that and has no common sense knows that with these vatos on the yard, with real heavy hitters and real people that are about the business on the yard, that poses a great threat to the CDC. They don't like it, man. They don't like it. You know, so they're always going to be in constant battle of what can we do to pick at them? What can we do to jeopardize their safety? What can we do to fuck off their yard? You know, it's bad enough you only get yard 3 times a week because there's always short staff or there's always an excuse, right? And that's when you are looking forward to just getting a little bit of sun and the placas are like Charlie Holmes, blood starts to boil, tensions start to end. Then who are you going to take it out on? Usually not the placas, they know that, but on each other. That's the problem within the system is this dog eat dog. We all eat each other before we look at the man who's really fucking pulling the strings and making things happen to, you know, for our demise. Now, as far as the Bulldogs selling up in Corcoran, Charlie Holmes, from what I heard from someone who's actually there, that's bullshit. It ain't happening. It ain't happened. Not quite yet. Will it happen? One never knows, does one? But according to what he's saying, Charlie, man, you know, now I have, you know, heard that they have established on some yards. I know that the Bulldogs are in B yard, Pelican Bay. They're pretty deep. You know, but from what I heard, everything that I heard, that is a yard of just Perro Chatos, non-affiliates, of course. And then you got active blacks and others. Okay, they keep people separate, man. I know people like to believe because they're from a certain group or gang that their people are just rocking and this is happening. Hey, and everybody is about that business, Holmes. This is no disrespect to no one, but stop the cat. Stop the bullshit. Stop the wishing. Stop the wondering, man. The Norteño movement, the Sureño movement, and of course the Bulldog movement are 3 different movements, man, that have not traditionally got along over the years. There has been times and places when they have fucked with each other or broke bread like Jesus said, but for the most part, it's all been red lights. Red lights meaning, hey, we're not going to fuck with them and kick it like that, but we're not going to get off on them either. As far as do the Norteños have a red light on the Bulldogs? Charlie, they have a full go green light from what I heard, allegedly, right? And they're not selling up, but I could be wrong. Maybe the vatos lied to me. Maybe they just gave me some bogus information. But I don't see it happening, gente. There's too much else going on within the CDC system right now. With the Southsiders and the Crips going at it in Salinas Valley. You know, vatos getting hit, vatos getting whacked. You know, people are now starting to apply pressure and not respecting legends like Dub says. People are doing things that they shouldn't do, you know, on the yard. Them old school's values and respect and the way people moved on the yards is not happening no more. People are tired of shit. They're tired of it. They want to do their own thing. Well, the California prison system is not a place to do your own thing. It's a place to get in line, Holmes, conform, and do that thing. And that's just what it is. Anyways, with that being said, to answer the questions, are the Bulldogs functioning with the Norteños on the yard? Charlie, Holmes, from everything I've heard, that's a false narrative. It's not happening. They're not definitely not selling up. I think Norteños would sell up with Southsiders before they would sell up with Bulldogs. And that's just because it's a little bit more personal when it comes to the Northern Bulldogs. Maybe I'm wrong. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose, get everything that you want coming to you. And remember, at the end of the day, it's black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I'm looking fresh to death like I do. I got things to do and places to wiggle. You know what I mean? Fingers up, 2 twisted in the middle. West. You already know what it is, man. Go out there, get it for your familia. Ain't no one else going to do it. Man, show some love and support to the Homeboy Food and Felons channel, the best food channel on YouTube. Some support to Trap Island Records. Music, man, go support his channel as well. Like and subscribe. And, of course, the Dubs and Dubheads channel. Stay popping with the Homeboy. You know what I mean? All head, no shoulders. New video. That's the homie, man. Hey, you know what it is? Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle and struggle and strive for what I believe in, man. And that's coming together as a raza. Giving it to you raw diggity and on the plate. Toma. You want tortillas with that? Eat that up, Holmes, because it's all real and it's clecha. The gun. Bang, bang. In that fashion.